Yo, what is up, guys? It's Pedro here. We got another Washington Commanders weekly stream, and I got my guy Rio. Of course, you guys all know Rio. He's been growing like crazy this last year. Make sure you guys check him out. His info is on the screen, and I'll be putting it in the chat throughout these streams. So make sure you guys go sub him up. Great YouTuber. I think the most original guy, like the most original Commanders content creator, just a lot of different videos that most of the other people don't post. He gives you access to the team store. I saw that video the other day, and the vlogs. Always love the vlogs. So make sure you guys check that out. And today we're just going to be doing a little bit of a therapy session talking about the state of the Commanders.
Lord knows we need
Exactly. Ron, everything. And then we'll do a little bit of, actual football talk about the Titans game and some of the news that came out today. So Rio, how you doing?
I'm doing all right, man. It took a couple of days to get over, grieve, and mourn the loss versus the Dallas Cowboys. We put on the all black for our funeral, and then we shit the bed in Dallas. But the season must go on. We're a quarter down. The team has no identity at this exact moment. It would be a great time for them to start to form one, because things are looking shaky for Ron Rivera and his regime if something does not turn around quickly, because now it almost feels like, what is Ron's plan at all, if there even is one? You sat here and you spent all off season selling the fan base on Carson Wentz, and the offense has went from week one, where there was actual success and we thought we had firepower, to an abstract disaster over the last 3 games. We've lost 3 straight in the conference, 2 in the division, and you lose this game to Tennessee, it's going to be Armageddon and Doomsday and Washington Commanders land for the next couple weeks. And it's a short week because we got 2 games in a 5-day span. And I stepped on my glasses. I'm missing the side of my glasses. So, it's been an interesting week, but autumn's here. My birthday's next week. Let's hope this team can show us something, because it's been a depressing start to the season for us, man.
Yeah, I got my birthday on Sunday, so my birthday is probably gonna get ruined. We'll see, but I'm kind of like, the first few weeks or first few losses of every season just really hit you different, because you're feeling the excitement going into the year. The Lions loss was brutal. Then the Eagles one is even worse, and then you got the Cowboys loss, which of course, it honestly didn't even I still think it's a huge rivalry, but it honestly just hit me like a normal loss, which is crazy. I like the black uniforms, but it just didn't feel like Dallas versus Washington in that game. Partly I feel like because of those black uniforms, but I still like them. I don't really get some of the hate on those. I think Jonathan Allen's kind of it wasn't the best fit with Allen, promoting the helmet the helmet and the unis. I think Gibson, when we first saw Gibson, we're like, okay, the uniform looks a lot better with on Gibson than Allen. But let's talk about just what's happened the first few weeks. Like you said, the first week offense was great, the defense wasn't great. Second week, offense is a little worse but still good, and defense terrible. Last couple weeks it's switched up a little bit. The defense hasn't been great, it's been better, and the offense has struggled. So kind of your thoughts on that, and what's up, Michael, sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. DeAndre, Commanders fan in Texas. Dwayne, Meest, Michael, what's up? Appreciate you guys coming through.
I see the way he said they're going to lose out. If you know Washington football, like we know Washington football.
You saw the tweet.
We don't even know how to be losers correctly. We don't. There will be at some point some 4 or 5 or 3 to 4, maybe 5-game win streak to get us around 6 or 7 wins. We don't know how to just lean into being bad. Get the first pick of the draft and let the world be your oyster. But it's too soon, I guess, to talk about that. But through 4 weeks of the season, we look like a team that should be picking top 3 in the draft. But it's such an odd, this team doesn't have an identity through 4 weeks, and it's really strange. There's no identity. We're not defensive minded. We're not offensive minded. Special teams is bad. We're poorly coached. the defense has played better the last couple weeks and has actually given us a chance, but they've played undisciplined. 11 penalties for 130 yards. William Jackson gave up a whole football field of penalties on Sunday, and we're paying the guy $14 million a year. Kendall Fuller's getting paid to be put on other players' posters every week. The linebacker play, starting with the guy with the C on his chest, Cole Holcomb, he's terrible. He's god-awful, and I don't know why we're not making a big deal about it like we're making about Jamin Davis, because at least Jamin off the blitz provides something for this defense. But we're a month into the season. Montez Sweat has 0 sacks, per usual. The offense, Carson Wentz, the Carson Wentz experience is this exactly.
Full effect.
He has the talent and the arm. He has the arm talent and the physical abilities of a gunslinger, but he has the mind, brain, and psyche of a game manager. And it is the weirdest thing ever, because if the guy would just not care about making mistakes and just let a mistake go and just keep letting it fly, we'd be okay. But he's so shell-shocked and gun-shy from making the big mistake that he's walking into 1,000 sacks a game. He cannot correctly throw an intentional grounding, and it takes him about a quarter and a half to 2 quarters to even get going. And the offensive line is bad. We're bad at literally every level. And until the Dallas game, we had no resemblance of a run game. Getting Brian Robinson back literally is the only excitement and thing I'm really looking forward to for Sunday. Other than that, I'm going to be at the stadium with no expectations and praying for the best.
Yep, and DeAndre Taylor, appreciate the $5 donation. Says, salute, fellas. Let's get this dub and start the crawl back to 500. Squad got to ball out for a birthday page. Hey, I hope so. I mean, it'll make my birthday if they – that's all I want. Give me a birthday dub. And, I mean, we'll see. It's definitely a winnable game for sure, and it's so early. Like, of course, it sucks to be 1-3, and, like, people always overreact at this point. And this feels a little bit different, but, like, last year we were 2-6. We were 2-6 through the first 8 games, and then ended up at one point 6-6. And I think
we always good for a late game.
Exactly. And yeah, exactly. We were 6-6, 6th seed in the NFL or in the NFC before the injuries and everything. And then the year before, what were we? 1-7, 2-7, and then we ended up, winning games at the end. It just sucks that, we're probably the worst. We talked about this on stream during the offseason. The worst case scenario for this season is 6 to 8 wins. And it looks like, I think it's going to happen. I don't think this team is bad enough, honestly, to win 4 or 5 games. I really don't, considering some of the teams that they have on the schedule. And of course, I mean, we shouldn't be talking about easy games, but like, there's a lot of games that they could win at the end where I just don't see them anywhere under 5. Like 5 is probably the lowest I could see. And I know right now it looks so bad. But Rivera always does this to us. Gets off to the slow starts. And yeah, but appreciate that donation. Hopefully they can get to 2-3. And then think about it. If they win, I said this every week after every loss. If they win this game and the game against the Bears, they're 3-3. But that a lot's got to happen. And then I kind of agree with what you said on the defense. Like Montez Sweat, I think, has been the most disappointing player on this team. I mean, no sacks through 4 games. Like, he wants to get paid like an elite pass rusher, and he's got 0 sacks through 4 games. Like, that can't happen. Like that, and I don't care what. Like, he had a great PFF grade last week. I honestly don't care. Like, and I love, getting pressures is great, but as an edge rusher, you got to get sacks. Like, you have to get sacks eventually. Pressures are great, and you can use all the double team excuses, but like all the best players get double teamed. If you want to get paid like the best players, you have to produce. And he hasn't. We'll see if it changes with Chase. And then Cole Holcomb, you're right, hasn't been good at all. And, he's been playing the Mike. And, I mean, we saw last year. People forget he played Mike last year at points. He wasn't good at it. he's an outside linebacker, but this team literally after the year was over said, Cole Holcomb is an outside linebacker. Jamin Davis is an outside linebacker. We're looking for a middle linebacker. And then a couple months later, they're like, you know what? We're chilling. We actually think Cole Holcomb's going to be our middle linebacker. So I don't know what changed, but yeah, clearly they weren't right about that. And then William Jackson III, I mean, he's terrible. Like, he is so bad. Like, the worst part is he doesn't even try. Like, you can see sometimes where he's literally jogging. Like, I've been bringing this up a lot, the St. Brown reception where him and St. Juice kind of had a little bit of a miscommunication. He's jogging after St. Brown. You see Forrest is running double his speed. It's just ridiculous. Kendall Fuller, he's just been getting mossed, and like at least he's there. But yeah, it is what it is. But though you're right, those guys have been awful. And at least we've seen good play from Fuller in the past. I don't think we're going to see it, but we haven't seen anything from William Jackson III. And that's another bad signing and a little bit of it wasn't a great scheme fit. We know, Jackson's a good man guy, and Jack Del Rio likes to play a lot of zone.
I seen a tweet the other day and I had to save it. I forgot who posted it, but credit to whoever posted it. They were like, our cornerbacks have two moves: get burnt or pass interference. Like, there's no other option, man. And shout out to So Ninja for the video I posted about the Jonathan Allen thing. I love Jonathan Allen. I love his energy, his tenacity, and what he brings. He's the best player on the team by far to me. And I just don't like the context of keep that same energy when the team is ass. Like, what kind of energy we supposed to keep when we're spending money week after week? We're supporting, we're speaking highly of, we're showing up. You know what I'm saying? We're representing you guys. We speak you guys in such a high level, and then you guys start the season 1-3. And to be perfectly honest, we should be 0-4 right now. What up, SP? Appreciate that, my man. But we should be 0-4 right now. We probably shouldn't even. The better team did not win when we played the Jags week 1. So technically, we should be winless through the first month of the season. And at this point, we'll see. We do our Big Doug of the Big Douglas show. We do this thing now. It's about 8 of us where we predict the scores, and we try to kind of try to rival what NFL Network does with their panelists and stuff like that. And I said I'm not gonna pick them to win until they earn that right. Until they earn it. I'm not going to. I'm going to pick us to lose to Justin Fields next week. That's how bad we are. Justin Fields has thrown like 60 passes in 4 weeks and has like 300 yards and 2 touchdowns. I'm probably going to pick us to lose in Chicago the night before my birthday next week. So Sunday, Brian Robinson's coming back. Hopefully sometime soon. I'm going to predict the Packers game. Chase is coming back. We need a spark of some kind. I know when Chase gets back, everybody's going to say, oh, let's give him some time. Let's let him hit. Listen, as soon as he can get back on the field, I need him to make an impact, because I'm watching other guys come back from injuries, and I'm watching edge rushers league-wide get to the quarterback. Yet these guys we drafted in the first round, we got to find every excuse and justification in the books, and we have to dig up every Pro Football Focus advanced pie chart analytic to defend their poor play. Just produce, please, damn it.
Exactly. And I forgot, what I was going to say. After they lost the Lions, I didn't predict them to beat the Eagles. Same thing with the Cowboys. I don't think I'm going to predict them to win this game, but honestly, might predict them to beat the Bears. We'll see. If they lose these next 2 games, please lose the rest of them. Dude, I want Bryce Young or CJ Stroud or whoever. Give me one of those guys instead of, the 14th pick. And, I love some of the players we've drafted. Like, Jahan's great. But, like, Jahan Dotson isn't changing our franchise. But, CJ Stroud, Bryce Young, they could.
Oh, so my question is, if we were to somehow be blessed by the football gods with the first pick, who's making the selection?
Dude, that's the thing. I do not. Here's the thing. I think if we don't make the playoffs, I think Ron Rivera should be fired. I don't think he will be, though. I really don't think he will be.
But if we end up with the first pick, though, that changes things, though.
Okay, yeah.
That's catastrophically bad.
And also, if we have the first pick, we're a more attractive situation. Like, some of these coaches, if we have like the 8th pick, they're like, what? Why do I want to go to Washington, Snyder, everything like that? But number 1 pick, one of these offensive-minded guys gets to choose his QB to start everything out. I think that's an attractive situation. And Dwayne, yeah, I think everyone wants a new owner instead of Dan Snyder. And I used to be like
one, though.
Exactly. I used to be in the mindset where, like, Snyder obviously is terrible, but we can still win, even with, despite him. But now I'm almost like, man, it's just like, it's so hard to do. It's just so hard to do. It is what it is. It's like, I hate rooting for this team. At the same time, though, the worst part is I can't stop rooting for them. Like, I just don't understand how some people, I can understand you stop like rooting for the team. I can't, even that is tough, but I can't understand you rooting for another team. To me, that's just sorry. Like, honestly.
I mean, they have a chokehold on me, no matter how bad it's been. Like, where the hell am I gonna go? This is all I know. Like, what am I gonna do? Am I gonna like the Ravens? I don't like the Ravens. I don't care about Edgar Allan Poe or the Baltimore Ravens. I like Lamar Jackson. I'm a Washington fan through and through. I don't care what you call them. I don't care what the uniforms look like. And I've never seen us be good. So, I mean, I'm still here. So it's a character building experience being a fan of this team. But Ron, I love you, my guy. I love the whole attempt at a cultural reset and facelift for the organization. I cannot think of a better person that we could have found for that. But schematically and football-wise, it looks like you and your crew, the game might have passed you guys by. And I'm not calling for anyone's head on October 7th, 2022, but I'm saying if we win 2 or 3 games this season and it's time to press a full reset, I'm looking at this 36-year-old offensive coordinator up in Detroit right now who has the number 1 scoring offense in the league with Jared Goff as his quarterback, missing receivers every week, missing multiple linemen, and DeAndre Swift playing every other week. I'm looking at the Detroit Lions hang 35 to 38 points up on every single opponent that they play. I'm looking at an offensive-minded, mid-30-year-old coach. And that entices me because that is the way now. Like,
exactly.
That is the way. It's not get defensive-minded guy. I know some people are going to say, give me DeMeco Ryans. I love DeMeco Ryans. I don't want it. Go give me a Ben Johnson.
I wouldn't mind Byron Leftwich either.
Yes, Leftwich. And Dan Snyder would get a chub for bringing home a DMV guy to coach the team. And Leftwich, Ben Johnson, that's what I'm looking at if we have to hit a reset button. I don't want to have to reset, but sometimes it's inevitable. And if things don't turn around in a hurry, that is definitely the direction we're going to be heading in.
Yeah, and I like Byron Leftwich. I think he would be a good hire. And then I don't really, besides him, like, there's some defensive guys. Sean Payton would be amazing, but I don't think he's coming here. I used to be an Eric Bieniemy guy, but, like, I feel like there's something there. Like, I know
I agree.
Yeah, I know he had some issues before, but I really think it's like a player relationship issue. We've seen multiple players call him out before. So I used to be an Eric Bieniemy guy. Now, not so much. But I think Byron Leftwich would be my guy. There's some other, at the Detroit Lions offensive coordinator. I mean, yeah, you're right. If he continues this, he would be a great guy as well. Lucky Chuck says, is Cam Sims playing Sunday? He should be. I don't see a reason for him not to play. Yeah, I know he's a fan favorite. Bloodshot Sports, appreciate the $5 donation. Says, what's up, guys? Really talking to us, mean again. Make sure you guys check out Bloodshot Sports. Great channel.
Yeah, they're talking to us mean again because there's no reason to talk to us nice, man. It feels like we haven't won in 5 years, bro. Week 1 feels like it was months ago. It feels so long ago. We haven't even, like, when's the last time we had a lead, bro? Like, it don't even feel like we've had a lead.
We haven't had a lead since Jacksonville. Right?
God bless us, man.
Right?
We have not had one. Yes, you're correct.
Wait, did we? Yeah, I don't. Wait, did we have a lead in the Cowboys game at all, or no?
I don't think we did. Oh, we did. We did. I think we did for a second. Hold on. I think we did for right before the half when Jahan caught the touchdown. I think we were up. Look at us. We had a lead for like a minute.
For 1 minute, yeah. You know what's the saddest part? What's up, Awesomeness Sports? The sad part is I was 2 years old for their last playoff win. You know how sad that is? Like, I was 2. I never got to – I have not witnessed a playoff win since I've been born. Like, you know how sad that is? Like, nowadays, there's, like, so little Commanders fans that are my age. Like, it's, like, there's, like, none. Like, if you go to school, like, in high school when like, it was, like, obviously there's still probably majority Commanders fans, but, like, it's not like it probably was, 30 years ago where it's probably 75%. It's, like, 5-10%. There's a lot of like Eagles, Giants, the big markets. There's a lot of those. And obviously that's, part of that is DC. There's so many people from other places, but there's just not that many young Commanders fans anymore. Understandably so, because, these young people want to choose good teams and Commanders aren't one. So it's sad. It is. Yeah.
And like you said, you were 2 when we last won our playoff game, bro. I was 13 and I'm going to be 31 next week. So, bro, like, that's not okay, man. Like, it's too long. And the worst part about how bad we've started this season is that the whole division is doing good except us. They're 4-0, 3-1, 3-1, and we're just the dreck of the league. Like, it's like you can't call the division the NFC least right now except us. Like, everyone is thriving. Everyone is showing progress. Dallas is without their quarterback and they're winning. The Giants are just finding ways to win games, and their defense looks really good. They just brought Landon back. And the Eagles look legit. Like, I wanted to call it hype. I said what I said about Jalen Hurts, eating all the crow on that because he looks like the real deal, and he has it in between the ears, which is like one of the most important parts. He's starting to get it with his right arm as well. They've dealt with their first adversity last week when they got off to a slow start and a 2-possession deficit to the Jacksonville Jaguars, ended up cleaning them up. Man, the NFC East looks like it's on the rise, except here in Washington, and it pains me.
Yeah, it's sad. I think Jalen Hurts is a great. So this year he's been great. I still need to see it in the postseason. Like, when it's Jalen Hurts versus Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers, and he beats one of those guys, that's when I'll be like, okay, this guy's legit. I still think he's good. I think you can win with him. Let's see if he's the reason they can win games, or if they can win games in the playoffs. I think if they're playing a team like the Minnesota Vikings or someone like that in the first round, because I think they'll be a 1-3 seed, I think they'll be able to win. I still haven't seen it in the playoffs, so we'll see. But yeah, he's been electric. He's a great human too. He's a great leader. Teammates love him. Great runner, great passer so far. And the Eagles have a good roster around him. You know why? Because they're aggressive. They are aggressive. They restructure their deals. This past week was the first time we had a contract restructure where we converted a deal to a signing bonus with Chase Boulier. The Eagles do that every single day. Not every single day, but like a lot. And we don't do that. That's just like the creativity we are lacking that they are not. They take risks. We bring Danny Johnson, Jonathan Williams, Troy Apke, guys like that. We bring those guys into our practice squads every single year and into training camp. The Eagles take risks. They bring in guys like Trey Sermon and other guys. I love the way the Eagles do things there. And Alexander Wilson, appreciate the $2 donation. They'll hire Brian Callahan as the next head coach. Is that the Bengals offensive coordinator? I think
I believe so. Yeah.
I mean, I honestly don't really know much about him. Honestly, don't really know much about him. I mean, the Bengals have been good. He could get a job soon, but I mean, he's an offensive guy. So I prefer, like Rio, offensive-minded coach versus a
Oh no, he's
defense.
the son of Bill Callahan. I think I'm a pass. That's his dad. You know what I'm saying? I want to bring in some fresh blood in this joint, man. I'm tired of the
Exactly.
nepotism. I'm tired of the nepotism in this building, man.
I want someone who, I'm obviously he's here for a reason, but like, I mean, probably the main reason is because of his dad. But he's probably qualified. But like, yeah, I agree with you. We got Scott Turner in here, who again, his dad was an offensive coordinator and a head coach for a while. So I just think that I agree with you. Bring in someone totally new, and we'll see. We'll see what happens. Tougher says Ron will find a way to win 7 to 8 games if he got to steal them. Just what he does. Yeah. Unfortunately, that's what he does. And that would again, worst case scenario for the Commanders is winning 7 games this year, 8 games, and not making the playoffs and getting the 13th, 14th overall pick and not being able to get a quarterback because they don't have the draft capital to move up and get a QB. They lost probably their second round pick this year. And if they're at the 14th pick, they're not going to be able to do much. Eagles, other teams like that have multiple first-round picks. Yeah, just unfortunate. Appreciate that donation, Alexander Wilson. Let's see. DeAndre says, "Give Howell a chance before you write him off." I think
I have thoughts on this after you.
All right, go ahead.
Oh yeah. I like so. Look, hear me out. We gotta ride the Wentz train until the season has no pulse left because we're giving the guy $28-29 million. But hear me out. If he doesn't play 70% of the snaps this year, we're only giving up a 3 next year instead of a 2. So if that day comes where we need to pull the ginger out the game because he's still stinking the joint up, I have zero interest in watching Taylor Heineke start football game. I don't care if that's going to offend some people. It's because he has a cult. He has a cult-like faction of fans here who believe that he's Tony Romo, Kurt Warner, Brett Favre. You name your undersized gunslinger quarterback that's actually good, and that's not Taylor Heineke, and they see him when they look in the mirror. I have no interest in watching him start football games for us. If you're going to pull Wentz, we might as well say, hey, 5th-round pick. We don't have to protect you like you're a 1st-round pick. Go out there and sink or swim for a few weeks. Go have at it. Let's see what you got, because if we're really this bad, we're drafting a 1st-rounder to be the quarterback of the future here that you're going to possibly back up or compete with. So if it comes to the point that we got to pull Wentz, put Howell in the game. I don't want to see Heineke. Play Heineke for what? What would playing Heineke do for this season? Other than like what would it do?
Exactly. And I would say the only way I'm playing Heineke is if it's past week 14, I'm not playing Heineke. Only, and I still wouldn't do it. But like if Wentz is having one of those games where it's like, okay, first off, Howell's going to be inactive for all the games until maybe the end of the season. If Wentz has one of those games where it's like, okay, he's got 3 interceptions in the first half and they're somehow still in the game or something like that, and maybe Rivera wants to give the team a spark because the teammates love him, okay, put Heineke in there and maybe he plays a couple games. But like that's it. If we're 4-10, 4-11, 4-12, and there's zero chance of making the playoffs, play Howell and recoup some of that draft capital. Like you said, if this team sucks, we're giving up a top 5 2nd-round pick. Like that's basically a late first. Like that is terrible to give up. Like you can't give that up. The difference between the 5th pick in the 2nd round and the 5th pick in the 3rd round is a big difference. So I think that they should do that. I don't know if they will, but yeah. Also, if Howell plays well those last 5 games, maybe you can increase the trade value for him, or just keep him as your backup, like you said. So I think honestly, if we're out of playoff contention and Wentz has been like he's been the last few, this season where he's not that great, you don't think he's going to be a franchise QB, then play Howell the last 4 games of the season. Don't let Wentz. I'm going to see what percentage it needs to be, because like 13 out of 17. So it would have to be. So that's the thing. 12. If Wentz plays 12 games, that's 70.5%.
Oh, we'll know by then. We'll know by then whether the season is shot or not. Yeah, we will know by then.
So you're right, totally right about that. Like the first round, you're basically almost giving up a late first, and you're going to be giving up an early second. It's just not, you can't do that. What's up, LF? Appreciate you coming through. What's up, Gus Bus?
We know who the starting and the backup quarterback. We know who they are. They aren't going to change who they are. We know exactly what the identity of these two guys are. Sam Howell's the only guy that there's any meat on the bone to see if there's something that could be there. Therefore, if Wentz has to come out, I have no interest in seeing Taylor Heinicke play. Our fans have this undying, irrational ass belief that he's a playoff quarterback and he's going to come in and take us on the run of all runs. But no, that's never going to happen. And I'm cool. Like there's a reason you're 30 and you're just now getting your first shot. And backup quarterbacks are a fan's dream. They're like uncles and aunts, but like, they're fun to go to the park with. They're fun to go on a trip with, to spend a week with, but they can't handle the nitty gritty of the everyday task of being a parent. So eventually they have to hand the keys back over to the parents and bring the kids back. Backup quarterbacks are backup quarterbacks for a reason. They stay that forever, man. That's all I got to say on it, man.
Great analogy. And I think, if you need Heinicke for a couple games or a half or something because of an injury, he can hold it down for a couple weeks. He can, at times, he plays at a very high level. At times.
As backups do.
Exactly. But at times, over a long period of time, you'll see what he truly is. And that's a backup QB. And that's fine. He'll tell you himself, he's very fortunate to be in the position he is, because 2 years ago he was not in the league. So he's making millions right now as a backup QB, and I think he's a good backup to have. He knows the system, players love him, and he can play well for some stretches. And that's where he should be, the backup. And if Howell plays well at the end of if you need to play him at the end of the season, maybe he can be a good backup for you. For
this person who just made this astute observation that he was the starter all last year. He was the starter because the starter hurt his hip at a water park and aggravated it week 1 during the game. But thanks for that. Thanks for that astute observation, sir.
Yeah, he was a starter. He was a backup going into the year. So Joanne says Heinicke's a top 15 QB. I don't think so. I don't think he's a top 15. I think at best you could argue he's a low end. Maybe. Yeah, at best you can argue he's a low end starter. At best, at best you can argue he's 28 to 32. At best, he's not top 15. He's not better than Kirk Cousins.
That man, a top 33 quarterback in this league. Cut that shit out, man.
There is no
I'm telling you, our fans are nuts, yo.
No, there's a you said it. There's a Heinicke hive, whatever they want to call it. A lot of people like Heinicke. It is what it is. I don't think
I had a dude on Twitter tell me he sees Kyler Murray vibes from Taylor Heinicke.
Russell Wilson last year, I heard.
Yeah, Russell Wilson this year. That's who Heinicke is.
Patriot Clip says Wentz is a 30th QB. I don't agree with that. I think we're living in the moment too much. I feel like the first couple weeks of the season, the same people that are saying he's 30th right now, where we're like, man, Wentz is top 10. Wentz is top 10. And now they saw him play bad for 2 weeks and they're 30th. I'm not saying that's specific for you, Patriot. I'm just saying in general. I think Wentz is, I said this before, I think he's 18 to 24. At times, he plays pretty well, like he did the first week and the second week. And at times, he's pretty bad, the last couple weeks of the season. Last couple weeks. So we'll see what happens, honestly. He could go out and ball out this week. Who knows? I don't think so, just because Jahan's out, Sam Cosmi's out, Chase Roullier is out, Wes Schweitzer's out. But we'll see what happens, man. Let's see. Mr. Ron B, man, appreciate the $10 donation. Says, happy birthday to my fellow Libras, Pedro and Rio. Mine is on the 17th. How about a dub to make it worthwhile? Yeah, man. Exactly. Hey, they win. That'll be exactly on my birthday. And then, the next day, both of you guys, it'll be the next day of the game will be your birthday. So Rio is going to either be waking up happy on his birthday, or sad. And same thing with Mr. Ron B. No. Just you, right? Because 17th we're not playing on the 17th, I don't think, right?
Yeah, no, because we get our little mini bye week.
Exactly. Yeah. But you will be waking up either happy or sad. I mean, you'll be up at midnight.
I'll probably be live streaming a post game. Have you watched the Bears this year? If we lose to them, it is Armageddon, doomsday, absolute disaster of a season, and blow it all up.
The Giants beat them with first Daniel Jones got hurt, Tyrod Taylor was the backup, and then he got hurt. And Daniel Jones was playing hurt, and they still won the game. Like, if we lose to the Bears, like we're already bad, but we're just terrible garbage. Like, imagine we give up 30 plus to Justin Fields and the Bears. Like, if that happens, Del Rio needs to be gone that day. He needs to be gone.
At that point is when the season I lean into the tank, bro. At that point, you lean into
for sure. If we lose these next two games, what are we, 1-5? Everyone's going to be in that same boat, I think.
1-5, staring Aaron Rodgers in the face?
Exactly. And yeah, Mr. Ron B, again, appreciate that donation. And yeah, hopefully we get dubs for us these next couple weeks. And yeah, happy early birthday to you as well. And yeah, that's the thing. Like you said, like I used to be this, the situation where, like last year, the Giants game, like I didn't want us to lose that game. But like if we're in the situation at the end of the year, I feel like it's also a little different when you're like, we were kind of fighting for like, 9th spot versus 12th spot. When you're fighting for like 2nd versus 3rd, that's when it's like, okay, you really want to lose. Like I remember rooting against us in that Giants Redskins game.
Oh, the Chase Young Bowl.
Yeah, exactly. Like I was screaming when the Giants won. Like I was super hyped. We'll see what happens with Chase Young. But when it's those upper picks, like those are way more important. And yeah, at that point, if we're 1-5, 1-6, that's when I'm like, okay, it'll be great to get a win. But like once we get back past week 10, and if we're 2 or 3, like we're under 4 wins, then I'm like, okay, let's lose these next 6 games and pack the season and get a top 3, top 4 pick. And we'll be able, if this quarterback class is better than last year, and we'll be in position to get, Bryce Young or CJ Stroud or Will Levis, whatever it is, hopefully.
Oh, but you already know this team, though. You already know how we operate, and you know how things go. We're going to run off 2 to 4, maybe 5 wins in a row at some point this season. We're going to start being ready as fans to purchase our playoff tickets, and then it's going to be rinse, wash, repeat, because that is what the experience of being a fan here is like. But I hope that is not the case. I will say one thing. That picture Dan Snyder took with Jerry Jones last week, it showed me one thing. Jerry and the owners stand behind Dan. They will not be voting him out. So if you think that that's an outcome that's coming, you are mistaken. You are fooling. And that picture told me all I needed to know. And I had that confirmed by a source. But so that he not going nowhere in that aspect. It's not going to be the owners if there's an outing of Dan. But we all know Dan ain't going nowhere though.
Yeah, for me, it's been like at least a year and a half where I've been like, he's not going anywhere, because it's literally every like 10 days. There's something new, especially in the off season. There's something new with Dan, like some new allegations, some new drama, and he always gets like nothing happens. Nothing happens. We all know unless he like something gets uncovered in the past, like where he directly did something really awful. Where it gets, there's proof out there and everything like that. He's not going nowhere, unfortunately. I hope it happens, but not looking like it does. And, we're going to have to wait until, he passes away, more likely than not.
And then
And then
it's gonna go to his son or some shit.
his son. The only thing is I've heard his son is like his son is way different than his dad. Like, is a really, really good guy. We'll see. He plays football actually at Appalachian State.
His wife's awesome. I love Tanya.
With Joe Gibbs. Joe Gibbs has 2 grandsons on Appalachian State, and then Dan Snyder's son is on there, which is crazy.
Oh, wow, that is a great fun fact. I did not know that.
Yeah, that is crazy right there. But yeah, it is what it is. We're probably gonna have to wait, 30 years, unfortunately. Man, we'll watch Snyder live to be 99 years old or whatever.
He's gonna live to be forever, like some Game of Thrones king, and then it's gonna go to another Snyder, and that's gonna be the repeated cycle. But literally, if he's gonna be here, man, just find a way to win in spite of him. I don't like he's gonna. I've accepted he's gonna be here. Just win. Find a way to win.
This is the way. This is the only way we win with Snyder. We just got because if you get a generational QB, you can win despite Dan Snyder. We just have to get lucky, honestly. We just have to get lucky. And we have to get lucky that not only do we get the guy, we develop the guy doesn't get hurt, and he doesn't get brainwashed by Snyder and gets coddled by Snyder and stuff like that. So
Gus Butts had a great comment, like the HBO Succession. Exactly. That's exactly how they go.
Exactly. We that's the thing. That's the only way we're gonna win is if we get lucky in the draft with a QB. If we get a top 5, top 10 QB in the draft, is the only way we'll have somewhat sustained success. And honestly, after this season, who knows? But the trading for veteran QBs thing, we've seen Matt Ryan, garbage, Carson Wentz, mediocre at best so far. We'll see. Still very early.
They're all bad. Rich Trubisky already got benched.
Exactly. And then Russell Wilson. We've seen 4 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, got sacked 16 times, not a great leader. It's not been good for him. It's not been good for anyone. And yeah, it's been bad for the trade for a veteran QB crowd. And I wanted Russell Wilson. I'm not
I was all in.
Exactly. I was sitting in class, and when I heard the news that Russell Wilson got traded to the Broncos, I was upset. And then the next day in class, we trade for Carson Wentz. Man,
hey, we dodged the bullet, because imagine having 220, 230 guaranteed for what looks like a disaster in Denver right now.
Oh, and here's the worst part: the Broncos are getting no shade, anything like that. People are blaming Russell. If we traded for him, everyone would be like, "Oh my God, it's the Washington franchise."
That's us.
Yeah, exactly. But you know how it would be. Mm-hmm. Wilson would not be getting blamed. It would be all, "Oh, there you go, Washington. Ruins another franchise QB." That's how it would be. Mr. Romby, appreciate the $10 donation. He says, "If we beat Tennessee, I'd give Wentz a load management day and play Heineke against the Bears. That's how you trip up an opponent on short rest."
Hey. Love you, my guy. No, sir.
I mean, here's the thing. If we beat Tennessee, it's probably because Wentz plays well or serviceable.
Wentz does look very old and hobbled. He has no mobility left in his body.
That is true. He is not the same quarterback that he was. He cannot run, really. He cannot run. He cannot, step up in the pocket. I totally agree with that. And honestly, if it wasn't if it was just Madden, I wouldn't hate the idea. But just in terms of actual real life, where it's gonna get in Wentz's head, we know, or it could get in Wentz's head, and it just changes the dynamic. I don't know if I would personally do that, but if you really needed a spark, you could put Heineke in for half or something. If Wentz is looking like doo-doo, which could happen, I wouldn't mind seeing if he's really looking bad and the coaches are super frustrated, I wouldn't mind seeing Heineke for the second half of the game if it's a winnable game. But I don't think they're gonna do it. I don't think so. Rio, what do you think?
Yeah, man, I don't think they would do it either. And listen, they have a very susceptible secondary in Tennessee. If we can't move the ball and muster up some points versus this team, it's probably not going to happen. It's not going to happen for us this year. And I'm going in. I made a prediction. I really want to just reverse psych this thing because after picking us to beat Dallas last week, I said I will not pick us to win a game until they earn that right for me to win a game. So I picked the Titans 27-13. Do I think the Titans are 14 points better than us? Hell no. I don't believe that at all. I think this is a very winnable game, and we should win this game on Sunday. But I'm not predicting us to win another game until this team has earned the right to, because they should be 0-4. They should not have any wins this year. We haven't even threatened a victory since September 11th, and it is now October 7th, 2022. So I'm just going to do that from going forward. I'm going to temper my expectations. I'm just going to predict losses and be absolutely thrilled and joyed if it goes the opposite direction, especially considering I'll be there Sunday.
Facts. And again, Mr. Romby, appreciate that donation, man. And let's see. And we got 90 people in here. Make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe if you guys are new. Also, sub up to Rio channel. Put the link in the chat right now. Go sub them up on the road to 6,000 subscribers. Getting there soon. So, yeah, make sure you guys sub him up. Great content. So, let's talk a little bit about the Titans game. So, injury news. Jahan, unfortunately, out. Yep. And then he's probably going to be out for the Bears game too because it's a short week. I think it's smart to have him out for the Bears game, just a short week. Get him totally rested. And, like, he'll be 100% if you rest him until the Packers game. If you play him for the Bears game, you got a little bit of risky business there. So have him out. Brian Robinson likely to be back. That's great. Tyler Larson also likely to be back. We'll see if they if he starts. And then I'm trying to think of who else. Any other injury? Cosme's out. Logan Thomas is questionable, which brings, if he's out or if he's in, Cole Turner will be active. And I think Rio's happy about that. I'm happy about that because, like, we saw at training camp, like, this guy was good. Like, he was their best pass-catching tight end there. Obviously, we weren't really there when Logan Thomas was back. But, like, Cole Turner was legit, making diving catches, was actually good. And then he just, like, people were thinking, oh, it's the injury. But no, like, after week one, he was off the injury report. They just liked Armani Rogers more. It is what it is. But, like, a fifth-round pick and you're having him inactive every week, like, I want that guy active. So we'll see what happens. But I'm excited. And if Logan Thomas is out, I think he'll get some targets, honestly.
Yeah, man. I'm excited to see Cole, man. My man Aquaman. You know how hype we was watching him during the summertime. That boy was out there getting busy, and he had like the Curtis Samuel hamstring groin situation of last year. Felt like a phantom injury, and we just haven't heard from him in the last 6 to 8 weeks. Shout out to you, Gus Bus. But we need to see some Cole Turner. But the whole theme of this game is Brian Robinson coming back, man. Just seeing it brought music to my ears to see Pete Haley and them post Ron just cheesing as Brian Robinson is running past defenders in practice, which one doesn't surprise me because everyone runs past our defenders in practice. But two tells me that Brian Robinson post gunshots and robbery and that tragic incident that somehow did not affect any structural damage in his lower extremities is back. We have a real running back. We can relegate Gibson to his in-space returning RB2 role. And
week one Gibson from Jacksonville. That's what I need them to do.
Yes, absolutely. 100%. I agree. That's what the excitement comes. That's how we get ourselves pumped for this game. Because other than that, it's just we'll wait and see, you know. Let's think pink month. There's going to be pink stuff out there. You know, we got to get psyched up. We're wearing burgundy for the first time. Whoa. Like, you know, we got to find reasons to, you know, get pumped for it because
that's crazy that it's week 5 is the first time we're wearing burgundy. But I think someone said about us being Payne and Allen as the duo. Speaking of Payne, I like the Hang Time podcast that Tress Way does. Like the players go on that, and I didn't watch all of it. I only watched like 10 minutes of it because it was like 35 minutes long, and I couldn't watch the whole thing. But it was nice seeing because like Payne seems like that dude where like he doesn't really mess with the media that much, and they'll just give him the basic answers. I liked him on the Tressway on the Hang Time podcast. You know who would be really interesting to have on that? Montez Sweat, because he's the ultimate. Does not like the media, like gives the most face. Yeah, he doesn't talk. So Montez Sweat on that show would be interesting. Definitely for sure.
So hey, Montez, you want to sack a quarterback this year, man? Oh my God.
Exactly, dude. He does not like them though. He does not like them, and yeah, we'll see what happens. I hope they bring on Montez, but I love Tressway. First couple weeks wasn't doing too great, but like last week
he was shaky for a couple weeks. I
don't know. Last week though, he was great. Every punt was inside the 20. That's what you want to see, and he was doing it. So that's great to get him back to his old ways. And yeah, honestly, like you said, I want to see Gibson as a returner, as a kick returner. Give me like Milne is Milne.
I don't ever want to see Dax Milne return.
He's a solid punt returner. Again, like keep him as a punt returner because like you don't want to fumble. And I don't know how he held on to that. I think it was last week where he got drilled. If the Cowboys player would have went for his chest, that ball would have been out. But Milne's pretty reliable as a punt returner. Kick returner, he's just not explosive.
Oh, low key play that could have swung the game that we're not talking about enough.
I know what you're gonna say.
Yeah, when we blocked that damn extra point. F.A. Abada completely forgot that you get 2 points if you pick it up and you score on the other team's end, and that could have potentially swung the game. We probably
would have been a 3-point play because you stopped the extra point and get the 2.
Oh my God, man, that's a swing. I don't think he realized that points could happen because he was literally walking, or he could have just pitched it to the 5 teammates standing behind him that would have waltzed to the end zone for 2 points. Little play to think about in the crux of a full game, but little stuff like that matters in the NFL game because it takes luck and bounces falling your way to get victories in this league, and we don't do ourselves any favors. We are not capable of forcing turnovers. We forced two interceptions, and they both came back from penalties. Will we ever win the turnover battle at any point this season?
Nope. And then the play I actually thought you were going to talk about is the punt we had where the returner for the Cowboys, I think Turpin, kind of fumbled it backwards, and that looked like it potentially could have been like a safety or a touchdown there. Mm-hmm. Someone says, when has Turner been given a decent QB? Okay, here's my thoughts on that. He hasn't been given a decent QB, but also it's a two-way street because you have to have a good QB, but you also sometimes have to make your QB better. And I think Turner's done that at times, but like so far with Wentz, he hasn't. And I used to be a Turner guy, but like this year's no excuses. Like
Scott Turner is too script dependent. You know, all teams come out with the 15 to 20 play script to start a game. Good coaches realize sometime that the script is not working and we need to do something different. Oh, Carson's getting sacked every other play. Let's put in some quick game. Let's put in some mesh. Let's put in some crossing routes. Let's throw some screens. No, Scott's like, I don't care if it's not working. Stick to the script, and it's got to work because we drew it up that way. We got to keep going at it, man. Man, it's crazy, man. He said, I'm from and live in Wisconsin, right? Oh, no, I did not know that.
That's nice. Appreciate the $2
what up,
donation. Wisconsin, got the Packers Nation there. Got some good sports teams in Wisconsin. The Brewers, the Bucks, and the Packers. I wish we were like that. Right now, it's looking ugly for all the teams except for maybe the Capitals. Let's see. I appreciate that donation, man. The William Jackson. So, honestly, like, I know they won't, but, like, I would not care. If he got benched. I literally would not care. I would not care if he got benched at all. Let's see.
Yeah, Don. Shout out to Don. That's the homie, man. That's the homie right there. That's that's the homie, man. I love Don.
Appreciate that donation. Shriyan, what's up? Shout out Shriyan guy on Twitter, Washington Commanders Twitter group chat right there. But yeah, William Jackson III, he's been I don't like to. I'm not gonna say, but I said it on Twitter already. He's a bum. Like honestly,
Oh, he's trash.
he's so bad, and like
He's
he's getting
trash.
paid $14 million, and Benjamin St. Juice is just so much better than him. I would like honestly, you could put. I wouldn't. I just don't want to see him on the field. He's so bad. I don't care. There's no excuses. This is the second year for him in the system. I don't care about the scheme fit, whatever it is. He's just not it. I would not mind if they benched him or released him or traded him. I don't think anyone's going to trade for him. But you put Benjamin St. Juice on the outside, someone in the slot, and then Kendall Fuller on the outside, or Kendall Fuller in the slot and someone else on the outside. It is what it is, but St. Juice has been good. He's been good. He's handsy a little bit, but for the most part, he's been good. He's been our best corner, and that's been a bright spot for us.
Oh, yeah.
And he's been one of the bright. Like, let's see. What are some other bright spots in the defense? Not many. Allen and Payne have been good. Benjamin St. Juice, Derek Force has been solid. Cam Curl's been solid. Anyone else?
Cam Curl's a baller, man. Cam Curl, he makes plays, man. It's too bad that those 2 interceptions didn't count, because it would have looked like the defense had a really good game and really would have swung the outcome of the game. But, those are just the football gods making up for, bruh, I don't ever want to see someone named Wild Goose on the field for my team ever again. If anything, let's see what Tariq Fields Castro can do. Even though he wasn't someone I was high on coming out, would he go to Penn State? But anybody can be better than Wild Goose and William Jackson at this point. And let's not act like Fuller is any better. William Jackson and Fuller both stink. If Kendall Fuller gets put on, like, I watched an Eagles thread after we played them. On Twitter, you only can post 4 pictures at a time. There was 4 still shots of Fuller getting cooked or mossed. And I was like, bro, I've never seen one man get put in 4 posters on one Sunday afternoon. It's just bad in the cornerback room. If for some reason quarterback is solved and we have to draft any other position in the first round of the 2023 draft, it is 1,000% to me a corner. Because you sign me up for Joey Porter Jr. or Ringo. Like I need to have a number 1 corner on this roster, because one does not exist.
Exactly. And then Gus Bus says Jamin Davis has been a solid tackle. If I had to give grades on the linebackers, I would say Holcomb like a D+, and then Jamin hasn't been great. I'll give him a C. And a C, honestly, like that's average. He's definitely been better than Cole
He can
Holcomb.
blitz.
Exactly. He can get to the QB. Has he been perfect? No, I don't think he was good in the Jacksonville game. I know your guy BNG Stunna said, we need to apologize to Jamin Davis after the first game. I said no, he was trash in that game. I thought he was getting burnt. It was just got lucky that Trevor Lawrence overthrew. But the second week and some of the other weeks, he's been building on it. He has been better than Cole.
Yeah, they should give the captain with the C on his chest the same energy that they were giving Jamin, because he sucks and he's one of the weak links on the defense right now, and that needs to change. But before I go, I just wanted to reiterate, I'm predicting a 27-13 loss, but I don't actually think that's how the game is going to play out. I think it's going to be a 1-possession game. I think we should win, even though that should, I don't know why I think we should win, because we're just not a good football team right now. But I'm going to predict double-digit losses for this team until they prove to me that that's not who they are, because each of the last 3 weeks, that's what it should have been, and we should not even have won week 1 based on what I've seen so far. But, hey, if they can run off the next 3, then we're back in usual Washington territory. Playoffs!
About to wrap it up. Let's see. Tyrone Williams says we're going to beat Green Bay. Got us win by 3. I think, what is it? Aaron Rodgers has not beat us at FedEx. So I think that's a stat. Who knows? I
Oh,
Don't think it's
he
gonna
beat us
happen.
there. He beat us there in the wild card round in 2016.
That is true, but I think regular season. I think I heard from someone. I don't
Yeah,
know
we
if it's
won our
true.
last 3 versus them in the regular season. And
Exactly. So hey, hopefully it happens. I can't pick us. I can never pick us against Aaron Rodgers unless we have a dude. I said D plus for Holcomb. Maybe that's a little too harsh. Maybe I'll go C minus. But he hasn't been like if C is average, he has not been average. You know what I mean? Like that's just my if we're counting because for me, if I get a C on a test, I'm not happy. I don't think that's an average grade. But that's kind of how people look at it. C is average. So if we're going C average, I think Holcomb's been a D plus C minus. He has not been average. And Jamin Davis has been like a C-ish player. And then here's the thing with Fuller. Last thing. Fuller, at least with Fuller, he's in the picture. Like William Jackson is gone. And he's not trying. He's so many penalties. Like Fuller's just getting mossed. He like you can tell he's kind of cooked. Like he's one step like too slow, or he puts his arm there 1/2 second too late. Like he's there, he's just a little late. William Jackson just sucks. He doesn't try.
oh yeah,
Like,
that is a great point. William
it's,
Jackson is not in the picture because he's 20 yards back down the field, looking at the safeties, trying to blame someone for miscommunicating with him, when the fact was that he just got cooked. Like,
exactly. So great stream reel. I think we're gonna wrap it up. Again, appreciate everyone for coming through. B Smitty, Gus Bus, my guy Roger Smith, Horse 2X, Nicholas, Tougher Guy, Mr. Ron B, and Tyrone, everyone who came through. Appreciate all you guys, Gus Bus. And yeah, should be. Hopefully we get the win. I'm gonna do a preview video tomorrow. I think the Titans, it's a winnable game. It's a winnable game. They've got a ton of injuries as well. Their defense isn't great. But we haven't shown anything to think, for me to pick. I'm not picking us to win, but it is a winnable game. I'm probably going to go. Yeah, it's a winnable game. It's at home. I think someone said Tennessee doesn't travel well, even though it's close. So hopefully it happens. And we're at 2-3, and we're going into week 6, and we're like, hey, we beat the Bears. We're 3-3, and then everyone's going to be hyped again. It's going to be hilarious to see the same people who are saying we're going 1-16 right now are going to be like, hey, we might, sneak in and win a playoff game.
That is the repeated abuse cycle that we suffer through here as Washington fans. We know it's coming. At some point, there's going to be a run, and we're going to somehow even up the record here. And we're going to say, I don't know, man. We win a couple more. We might be a problem in the NFC. It's the same. It's the same thing all the time. And one day, those beliefs that we have, maybe they'll actually come true. Or maybe one day we can just be good from the second the season starts and be good throughout the season. But, man, appreciate you for having me on tonight, man. Let's get a dub this week somehow, some way.
Yep. Peace, guys.